You know, I really never liked Taz as a Looney Tunes character. I know he's super popular, but I just can't stand him. Although I was more of a Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner fan. Eventually Taz got his own cartoon called Taz-Mania, and I didn't care much for that one either. It was pretty dumb, giving Taz a whole family, and what made it even worse is that his whole family wore clothes and spoke properly, while Taz remained the wild gibbering idiot that he is. And it didn't faze anyone in the cartoon. It did have that Tiny Toons feel to it, but Taz was just so out of place in this show, and making him the protagonist, he's supposed to be the bad guy. But it became a very popular show, so guess what? They made a video game from it. And not just one, oh no. They made several games. So I'm just gonna do a quick rundown and plug in the first one. That goes by the name of course, Taz-Mania. And it starts off with the father telling his kids about some sort of legendary eggs that I don't give a shit about, you don't give a shit about, and I don't see anybody giving a shit about. And I can already tell that this game is gonna be a bucket of ass. Look, when Taz runs off, the expression of his brother and sister don't change at all. They couldn't put in a little, oh, I'm surprised type of look. Ugh, crap. These graphics and sound reek so bad of shit that you could actually taste it. Graphics and sound never really make a game, but there's three things that do kill this game: the level design, the controls, and the programming. Normally, level design is something I don't pick on, at least not too much, because each game is unique, so you have to accept that this is how the game's world is. But the problem with the level design here is that you can't tell what you can walk on and what you can't. You do get a general idea, but at the same time, it looks like you can jump on something or onto a platform, and you either get blocked or you just pass through it. But there's also platforms that are just way too small to jump on, causing you to fall through them, and low-hanging ceilings that blend into the background and that will block your jumps. Next are the controls. Taz moves very stiff, but also feels extremely loose at the same time. Using the spinning attack is slippery. It's like moving on ice, and there's almost no way to control it short of going left or right. And the jumping is just wrong. It's either a small hop or a full leap with no regard for how long you hold down the directional pad for the duration of the jump. And the game's programming is sloppy at best. Taz will automatically pick things up on his own and eat them, so you can be picking up things like bombs, swallowing them, and taking damage. There's also a stage where your health bar blends into the background and you can't see it, so you don't know how much health you actually have. The spin attack destroys small bad guys while doing nothing to others. It also destroys things like power-ups, 1-ups, and items that replenish your health. There's bad guys that you can't kill, and you can take tons of damage from them because you barely get that free few seconds of invincibility when hit. And you can't tell what will instantly kill you and what won't. There's also things that you can stand on, but if you walk into them, you take damage. How did they think that was a good programming decision? This game is just a bucket of anal waste. Something that the developers shit out with reckless abandon. But because this isn't the only Taz game, and then there's plenty more, maybe about 5 or 6, and most of them are on the Sega systems. So let's try another. How about Escape from Mars? Let's see what this one has going for it. After all, it was made by different people, so maybe it might be better. Oh, what the fuck? It's the same fucking game. 2 years apart, you just slap on a different coat of paint? If Taz-Mania was sloppy, then this is just lazy. It suffers from all the same problems as the first one. Is this one made by the same fucking people, or did they just give the resources for the first and tell them to make their own? These two games are bad, and I mean they are terribly bad. They're unplayable, and I never thought I would find a game this bad, let alone two. And I can't believe that both these games are going to get this rating, the lowest rating I have ever given. In fact, they are so on par with the game that is so bad that it got its own rating. Bubsy 3D. They need to be fucking burnt and sent to hell where they belong. Now keep in mind, Bubsy 3D is the worst game ever made, but these two are so close to being Bubsy 3D without actually being Bubsy 3D. There's also 2 Taz games on the Game Gear, which both are absolute garbage, and one for the Super Nintendo, which is just a retarded Outrun clone. Shit like this is proof that games that are based on already existing property are almost always going to be garbage. But yet, it'll never stop. Why? Because it's an easy cash-in job, that's why.
Georgia, he was looking for a soul to steal. It's not fine, he was way behind, he was looking to make a deal. When he came across that young boy playing that fiddle hot, then the devil jumped up on a hickory stump, said, boy, let me tell you what. I bet you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give and the devil is due. Better fiddle of gold against your soul, 'cause you think I'm better than you. The boy said my name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet, you're gonna regret, 'cause I'm the best that's ever been. Johnny rising up your bow and play that fiddle hard.